Mike Gill and Crash.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Crash. We are never betrayed by enemies. You're going to get the true meaning of that in this podcast. If you're not a translator of bullshit, you're fucked. So let's bring in common sense. I've been translating this bullshit for 20 years. Go to State of Corruption. That's 10 years before Trump was running for president. All these people before you heard of Flynn and all these other criminals and these podcasters, I was exposing the Department of Justice and the FBI, their network that got into their money laundering, incriminated them, built the Pandora's box before anybody knew anything. That's who I am. That's why you read a resume. And who was I before? Oh, I don't know, world famous for insight. Built the largest mortgage company with insight. Become the top handicapper in the world and the largest racing stable in the world. Insight. If you remember the last podcast, cursed by that insight, condemned by moral conviction. Well, you're going to hear the moral conviction part of this again. And believe me, we ain't going to make anybody happy. Do you know why I keep picking the losing side? I could pick Trump. I could pick the DOJ. I pick you, which is always the losing sign, which is why you're in a bad spot. But let's get into the translation and what you're seeing. Because what you're seeing is coming rapid fire. What did we try to tell you? And I hope you're watching these podcasts and following through because we're building them. We're building them by pieces of where they're going, not just now, but where they're going in the future, which is what I've been doing for 20 years. You can go back 15 years ago, and I was ahead of where everybody is now. But it's also important now because it's exactly where we're going. All right. Remember the two paths? Insurrection, Epstein. That's the plot, both times. So let's speak on both, but take you through what's really happening. Okay. We have the Arizona. Remember we said the GOP in Arizona. They just turned around and called for a re-examination to open the files, right? This guy here, at the same time, the leader, Turning Point, former GOP rep, pleads guilty to attempted of election fraud. We're bringing it back. We've got this guy now pleading guilty. That election fraud is Arizona, is General Flynn. Goes back to the brokered convention and the confessions of Liz Harris and Shelby Bush. All right, now let's hit. Now, what else is going on at the same time? We have the Arizona AG. If you remember, May's Supreme Court to overturn ruling that halted the fake election case. Uh-oh, we're coming back. Now, hit the next one. You remember what the fake election case was? Oh, that's right. The fake audit of the Arizona. Now, here we go. It indicates 18 in fake election. Do you remember who got bagged in that? Giuliani and Meadows, who both took immunities with Jack Smith of the DOJ. Now, you know what Meadows just did recently? He got a Trump immunity, but Meadows betrays Trump. Oh, I don't know, maybe the DOJ, the winning side, Meadows goes, oh, I'm on their team. It's hard to turn around and go back. Listen, for them to give Meadows immunity, what it means is Meadows gave Jack Smith exactly what he wanted, which is why Meadows was one of the 77 names that Trump just gave immunity to. Counter move, counterpoint. Okay, so after the Meadows things, let's see. Involved with, hit the next one. Oh, now what you need to do is watch the reactions of people. Do you remember the last podcast? Lynn Wood's going, hey, you know what? That Maricopa County, that audit, I think that was fraudulent. No kidding. You were part of it. Thanksgiving that year, 2020, you were having General Flynn cut the turkey.
At
They
his
were at your
house.
house
Yeah.
just before December 18th, when Flynn, Patrick Burns, Sidney Powell, and Giuliani interact in the Oval Office, gave Trump the insurrection lawsuit to set it all up while you were text messaging me the Pandora's box, which could leverage the Senate and the Congress and screw shit up. Even with impeachment today, you're going to hear this Pandora's box and Trump any day now, because unless you're a moron, you see how they're going to move in both paths, both directions to impeachment. What could leverage them? The same Pandora's box on December 18, 2020, can be applied against the Senate and the Congress. And let's think, are you in a better position, mindset, to believe that the Senate and Congress could be compromised between predators? And these predators, you're having them vote on opening the Epstein files. And listen, they're going to give you all these redactions. Maxwell's already said that she's not going to testify, yet Todd Blanche puts her in Club Med. I mean, isn't that a little out of order? So again, you can't trust it. But at least now we got Tucker Carlson. We've showed you the last couple of podcasts saying they're all corrupted. They're all leveraged by intelligence, including the Mossad. I mean, how many politicians do we have to see kiss the wall? I mean, is it not obvious by now? All right, let's keep following. This is important. Hit it. Oh. Now that we're following this man of God, Lynn Wood, right? Listen, you know what I don't know if I have ever told you people? I went to the seminary, I was 14 years old. And as freshmen, most of the majority was 14 and 15-year-old boys who left home for the first time, missing their brothers and sisters. And I didn't become a priest because they were met with being bullied. They were met with cruelty. And it disillusioned me about becoming a priest. By the time I was a sophomore, that bullshit with bullying had ended because I kicked the shit out of all the bullies. But this post here reminds me of that moment in time. Put that up again, please, Crash. And this is Lynn Wood, another fucking prophet, another one who sells you God, the Holy Spirit, just like Michelle, who's connected to this dickhead. Tina Peters' son, Remington Peters, who served in the United States Navy, was a member of the Navy SEALs, Leapfrogs, the Navy parachute demonstration team. Technically, he died in a parachute accident on May 28th, 2017. All right, so let me go over this. So what he's saying here at the end, the fact that he died in a parachute accident, I think we've got to review that Tina Peters being a Gold Star mother, considering he only died in a training accident.
Right. He wants to review her status as a Gold Star mom.
Right. Is there a darker piece of shit than that? Do you think it means anything to Tina Peters that her son died in training or in battle? I mean, now you think about that. You think about the man that would put that up that way. And why does Tina Peters scare the shit out of Lynn Wood? Because he's eating Thanksgiving dinner with Flynn and Powell and Burns as they're planning the insurrection. That's the darkness of that asshole. Hey, listen, Michelle Moore only tried to send me to my death. The stuff with the prophets has got to end. You want to believe in God? Then help save his children. All right, now let's go back now. This broken convention. leave this up for a second. I want to explain something to you now. Now's a good time. Now, Moore takes everything down. I gave you the broken convention as it happened that day. And those days after, I showed you where they went to my hotel room, threatened my life. I told you how they were taking me for the cartel, and I didn't tell them and I set that broken convention up. Do you know where I met Shelby Bush? At the Trump rally ran by Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. You remember the guy who was the head of Turning Point that's cutting a deal? That one. So in other words, there's no dispute there was a brokered convention. Plot. Okay? That's important. Plot. Okay? And Michelle Moore took everything down. Now, why this is important? You ready? This is usually when I go, put your thinking caps on, okay? And we're going to attach the phone call and recording of Stacy Burke and myself after the meeting, the one she sat on for a year and didn't tell you because she's working with the DOJ. And Michelle Moore, who's working with the Flynn Network to set me up to be murdered, who suddenly had 5,000 to go there. It's the DOJ's now saying, you got to take that down. And I'll tell you why. You ready? You're going to love this. Okay, you can take it down now. Flynn ran the brokered convention using the same people, Harris and Shelby Bush, to enact the brokered convention that you get to hear. And if you don't think the DOJ had these tapes, you're insane. And they have all the witness, including Michelle Moore. Now let's think about this. And if you listen to it and hear it, and you listen to what I told you, who was in charge of it? General Flynn. Well, wait a minute. Now let's think about this. Do you think Flynn was on the Trump team and working to enact the brokered convention to take out Trump? Freeze. That's an important point. Trump didn't try to take himself out now, did he?
Right.
And there's Flynn.
And do you think that when Flynn went into the Oval Office that time, he wasn't working against Trump to try to get him to sign the Insurrection Act? I mean,
he was setting him up.
That's
the DOJ. And here's the funny thing, right? When he goes to set him up on December 18th, the DOJ and him go, we got to get Gil.
Right.
335 million of you. And they call Gil. Why do they call Gil? Because I had the path that the Pandora Papers only told you afterwards. I beat them all and said, you follow the money, you follow it to the Senate and the Congress, and they're all fucking compromised. If they're compromised, you open the Pandora's box. They can't stop Trump from being president because it's set up. How about just like now? Now, that doesn't make Trump innocent. He is in the Epstein files. He's even in the Pandora's box. Who gave that to me? Just recently, the Department of Justice. Trump was partners with Penn National, who I had all along, just didn't know they were partners. And that's where Crash found Cantor Gaming and even went deeper. Trump again. And my evidence. Listen, if you're looking for the good guy, good luck. What did I tell you? You're the good guys. We're the good guys. And it's a limited party. Okay, so now if you use your brain, you go, that can't be. So establish the broken convention. There's the setup. What happened thereafter? Oh, I don't know, an assassination attempt? Maybe. Have we ever been in a time in our lives where everything has to be questioned? That's why you need a translator. I'm immune to bullshit. So I built a fucking empire. Hit it, please.
Let's see. We're at Barbara.
Yes. So Barbara then goes about the brokered convention, and who answers? Ivan Raiklin. Give me a call. Do you know who knows? Houston, we got a problem. Flynn and Raiklen. And
So
Raiklen
now,
goes, give me a call, Mike.
right. So Ivan wrote, "You have my number, Mike," and he's referring to you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, you can hit the next post now. Because the first thing they all did was reach out to me. If you can enlarge as much as you can. All right, wait a minute. So let me establish this, then we'll go back to our boy Raiklen. Jeff Greenspan was the guest of Liv Harris to the brokered convention meeting. He's also a witness to the confessions of Harris and Shelby Bush. Jeff Greenspan will be joining us as he's experienced what a brokered convention and the bullshit that will be pulled. Well, wait a minute. They didn't bring him to the party of the brokered convention meeting because he was an expert in it. Again, we're doubling down on the fact that it's a brokered convention. Hit it.
No, wait.
And
Before I hit it, this is a text message from who?
Liz Harris
To you.
and to Shelby Bush.
Now,
And to tell Shelby,
okay.
Harris is, and this guy Greenspan's coming, and
And
he's telling me Greenspan's coming. Why? Because it's a brokered convention. Now, that references that Shelby Bush knew it's a brokered convention meeting, as Harris, and now Jeff Greenspan. So nobody's questioning why we're having the meeting. Listen, the meeting was the brokered convention. The confessions of Harris and Shelby Bush working for Flynn with the insurrection and the Arizona audits that brought up the name of Stacy Burke, which I didn't know who the hell she was really.
right.
But then, which is why, and again, that conversation with Burke will be attached, is why we spoke. So
And
in other words,
that text was before the meeting, correct?
exactly,
Okay. I'm just
exactly.
putting.
No. That's very good. That's very
Clarifying.
good. That was an important clarification. Okay, hit it, Crash. Now, let's continue with the clarification. This is Matthew Tuccaroni speaking to Liz Harris, and again about giving up the tape and have the American people hear it of the brokered convention, but the confessions of the Arizona audit. And what did Harris say? Never. Meaning you weren't going to see it. But the DOJ's got it, and which is why Michelle Moore took everything down and won't mention my name. None of them will. Have you noticed the minions have gone through every rat hole? Not saying anything? Because listen, I became contagious. Because one of these two parties, the DOJ and Flynn and Trump, which is why you're going to hear Pandora's box pretty soon. They're going to turn around. We need Gil. Gil again could fuck this whole thing up, which is why December 8th, these reached up to me, and why, by the grace of God, I put this brokered convention meeting together. Now you think about that. You want to know if I'm ahead of them? How's that? I just set a trap for all of them and caught all their asses.
Well,
Hit it. Yeah, go ahead.
it just blows my mind. It's just hitting me. You went out there. I'm just rehashing this. You went out there and under the impression that Liz Harris wanted you out there for, which I mean, she did. She wanted you out there to go after the cartel and look up the deeds and go after. But the thing is, they just said that this is about a broker convention.
Right. Meaning they were setting me up to be murdered, calling out the Sinaloa cartel. And then when I got murdered out there, they were going to say, hey, the cartel got him. Then Liz Harris goes, see, I told you there was a cartel. Ariel turns around with those deeds and starts putting names on it. Listen, the DOJ already had them. What did we learn? I said they were going to take out the Sinaloa car. Boom, the DOJ took it. The DOJ was going to get me snuffed. Harris put out the bait. Matthew goes on, who showed? Michelle Moore to send me there. It was the plan to eliminate me. None of those little bastards knew when I took a right turn to the brokered convention and set them all up. That should tell you how far ahead of them. So in other words, exactly correct. It was the murder plot And then, you know something? Ariel was going to say, and Ariel's part of this with them, and part of Michelle. If you remember, Michelle saying that Elvira was a CIA asset, who
Right.
was on her show before Matthew was,
Yeah.
to do a movie of me, who called me the greatest whistleblower in history, only again to get me snuffed. See, that was the plan. The brokered convention saved Trump's behind, but it also saved my life.
And
Okay, and that's Greenspan again. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm just back to it because it blows my mind that she literally wrote it. Uh,
Yes.
you know, so anyway,
And the
there's no
reason
denying
why
it. There's no denying it.
is no denying it. And that's the important part of this. And the fact that Flynn was behind it. We know this, that Trump didn't try to take himself out of the presidency,
Right.
because then at that point, what was he left with? Jack Smith and those indictments. Now, you want to know if we were right? On the very day, that night, let me see if I can find this to read this.
After the meeting,
Yeah.
I can't make it any bigger.
Okay, I got it. Tuckeroni goes, I've been fucked. I'm setting Gil up to be murdered. In fact, that's why he kept saying, hey, listen, I got a piece of land in the desert. And this asshole, listen, you have a gun, you can pull a trigger. 9 out of 10 are cowards. All right? And that's what this asshole was, which is why I was uncomfortable from the beginning. How about we discuss Michelle Moore, private investigator? See, now that I went to the broker convention, away from the cartel, on the very day that after that broker meeting, Tuckeroni comes to my room and tapes a warning on my door. Later, he's threatening to murder me, and slowly, like what is it, shooting my kneecaps off, and
Yeah.
then the
Right.
torture
Yeah.
begins. Listen, I could kick the shit out of 10 of these New York gay waiters. Trust me. The investigator lives in Maricopa County. Coincidence? Question mark. No, it's not a coincidence. Michelle was working with these assholes. But now he thinks he's been fucked. Because no one told me of the broker convention. No shit. I didn't tell Michelle Moore either. I think not. She uses investigator from Maricopa County. Now she's thinking the investigator gave me information. She was the one that was going to do a hit job on me that Crash found. Mike Gill all of a sudden uses me to get to Arizona, then pulls the stunt with the delegation. Brokered convention. Oh, again, we got a brokered convention and screws over Liz Harris and Shelby Bush. Oh, pardon me, with the brokered convention and the two assholes who were part of the insurrection plot and the election fraud in Arizona that Lynn Wood seems to be pissing himself over. And including with Tina Peters, who did the same thing in Colorado, which is why they're wrestling with Tina Peters and going, what side does she flip to? And Tina Peters going, I don't give a shit, just want to get out of jail. Think about it. Who in Mallard Cop is working with Michelle Moore? This had to be premeditated. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I screw up your plan to snuff me? Did I call a brokered convention and call out Flynn and got the confessions of Harris and Shelby Bush? Do you know why they confessed? They didn't know who sent me. Jesus sent me. We got a shitload of sheep, Mike. You got to do this yourself. And right after, who goes to visit me? Oh, the CIA. That's Lockwood. Where'd you get it from? How'd you know? The Holy Spirit hit it. How about the same insight that made hundreds and hundreds of millions? Oh, let's go back to Raiklan. Now remember, and what did Raiklan say? Geez, I hate not being able to see that.
Well, yeah, and plus it's blurry now.
Can you read the bottom of that
Well,
for
that's
me?
Raiklan is the bottom, and it says, "I'm hearing." Mine's blocked out. I'm
Okay,
hearing
I
that
got it.
I'm no match for Mike Gill when it comes to New Hampshire.
For the reason
Uh,
we must connect dots together to
yeah,
crash the
crush
commies.
commies. Yeah,
See, in other words, you didn't know me. They did. This came after December 18th. This came when he was going to New Hampshire. Flynn knew who I was. This is when all the podcasters were trying to get me on the team. That's 107. That's all the podcasts. That's Nino. All of them. Why? Because I was the Pandora box and can leverage. What did Centelli say? You'll be weaponized. Why did they say I was the greatest whistleblower? What did they say? One of the most important people of our time. Because I could put them on there. And what did Raiklin's going on? Help me out. We'll work together. Which is why they kept me broke. Because you know what? Maybe starving and broke and not healthy, I'll say, okay, I'll take a deal. Fuck that. I'm prepared to die. Which is also how you build businesses. Really. All in. That's how you do it. But see, now we've established Raiklin knows who I am. Now it's time. We've got the insurrection. I took you through that. The brokered convention shows that. Now let's go to the second path. Epstein. Hit it.
I'm not sure if you want this next, but that's what I got.
Oh, that's good. Now, you want to know insurrection? And we're going to the insurrection? Who were these people? This is SCB, or I call them KFC. If you remember, he was on a show that I was on with him and they were saying, and this is also Terry Cassidy on that Patriot Underground. Same bullshit. What were they selling you? Trump's commander-in-chief. Trump's opening the borders. Trump has the codes or the package for the
nuclear code.
Nuclear codes, right? How about this, boys and girls? Do you believe that shit now? They were selling it to you then. So let's see what he says there. I'm proud to be part of the Flynn network. What? There's a network? I stand with General Flynn. Oh, you do. I stand with President Trump. I stand with Chuck Grassley. I stand with Q. I stand with God. I don't stand with losers. Now, that's in reference to me as being a loser. In fact, he went on to call for my death and execution, and he did it with that Pascal. Now, Pascal thinks he's the reincarnation of John F. Kennedy Sr.
And Jr. Both
well, Jr. was actually won as being Jr. And listen, MK Ultra, CIA, Flynn Network, what did they do? They fucked with your heads. These are a bunch of shitheads. I was on the phone with one. I got the nuclear codes, all this. He was a flim-flam man. That's what they are. Now, CIA, DIA. But now listen, this is important. He's saying he's in the Flynn network and he's proud. Flynn goes, what does exposing the Flynn work have to do with anything? Can you explain, please, what these networks? I'd like to know. Well, why don't you talk to shithead? He just gave you the Flynn network. 107? I mean, listen, Nino is his puppet. 107 was talking to Michelle Moore. Remember how many shows he was on? Terry Cassidy, all of them? He was the point man. Defense Intelligence, MK Ultra. That's what it was. They're proud to be the Flynn network. Flynn's going, no, I don't know about a network. What are you talking about? And here's something else Flynn did, right? Now they're trying to say, bring back voter fraud again. What did Flynn say in open testimony? I have no evidence of any kind of voter fraud, including Dominion. Oh, wait a minute. Now we got Powell quacking fucking voter fraud again. Didn't the bitch just cut a deal with Dominion, who Mary Fanning's husband sold to Republicans? Did Giuliani cut a deal too? We're back to the Q again. Insurrection. Listen, you see all these podcasters you want to target? They're part of the insurrection. Their voices led you to J6. Those voices in between that time were arming you. Flynn's driving the bus, and they're all behind him going, yeah, these people, these are criminals. We got Raiklin, the minister of retribution. Got it this time. I know you were ready. Turning around and saying, we're going to take out the CIA, FBI. Oh, they're back again. They're back again. That's your insurrection. That's Powell. That's Byrne. That's Flynn. That's why Wood's panicking. Hit it. See? Insurrection. That's what they're guilty of. Now, let's see the plot. This is the beautiful thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene turns around and tells everybody, open the Epstein file. Now, we want them all open. The DOJ has always had everything. When we say this, the DOJ released everything. Then explain, if you knew that Trump was in the Epstein files, why did he become president in 2016? If the Congress and the Senate was blackmailed, then why didn't you do something about it? Because they're the assholes doing the blackmailing. You get it? They're the ones who hired the CIA and the Mossad. They're the people who hired Flynn. Raiklan, finally we get to meet Brad, right? So there's Raiklan and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who lights the fuse. Oh, wait a minute. She suddenly resigns, and resigns on the giddy up. Now, listen, I'm on the stairs of the Capitol going to the women. I'm going to get names. I'm going to be in front of Congress, and I'm going to name the name. Oh, wait a minute. You just took a powder. What was the other bullshit? When you light a fuse, you walk away before it blows up. She didn't know that Trump was in the Epstein files? Of course she did. Surprise, surprise. But there she is with Raiklan and Flynn. Hit it. So, no, that's the plot. That's the translation. Oh, what a me. She starts Congress with 700,000. She's leaving with 25 million. Can you say audit the Senate and the Congress? Have I not been saying that? Have I not been saying the money that I found and what Pandora Papers, to 935 billion into New Hampshire, orchestrated and architect by Bill Shaheen, who's married to Senator Shaheen? That's the back door of the bribes and the payoffs into the Senate and the Congress. Whoa. So you see, we're right in line still. Hit it. Now, what do we got? Oh, we got Raiklan and Flynn going. Oh, the MJ
The J
pipe
Fox.
bomber is not Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, that was a riot, you fuckheads. Now think about it. That connects them to that. Greene's positioning to become president. You don't see Flynn on the ticket, top or bottom. You see? And it was always that way. It was Flynn with Kennedy prior. When I turned around and cornered 107, and listen, cornering that asshole is like trying to catch a chicken. But he confessed to it all, which is why they...
A greased pig, because...
Greased pig. More accurate. But you see, that connects them. Greene was connected with Flynn and Raiklan. They turned around and lit the fuse, made the connection, hit it. Now, let's see. Where does it turn? Remember, the insurrection. Raiklan's now turning on the gas. Accessories to the fact. Now, the DOJ, the institution of the DOJ, listen, they're all corrupt. Never forget. We're not picking sides. I'm picking your side. But what Trump did was put his people in the top spots of the DOJ and FBI. That's Bongino, Patel, and Bondi, and Blanche. Now, if we're going to do the spin job by the same people who tried to take out Trump in the insurrection, tried to take out Trump with the broker convention, we're back. And there's Raiklan. And all those boys are now turning suddenly on Trump. Remember, Greene lit the fuse. They knew that they're coming after Smith, with Jack Smith, saying Jack Smith's going, I want to testify in Congress. That's Mark Meadows again with the immunity deal. But that's the spin. Now keep following the spin. It was never the spin. It was always who they were. So what Trump did was put his people in the top spots, management, but below that is still the DOJ. What happened to the Comey prosecution, the James prosecution? They had to have the beauty queen to put it together. She fucked up and it's already out. It was never meant to win. It was a message. Oh, now we've got Raikkonen going, uh-oh, Bongino just blocked me. No shit. You just put Bongino and Patel in a dangerous spot in Bondi. They blocked you? Oh, excuse me. They know where you're going and how you're going. The question I have, this 4D and 3D bullshit. I'll play chess with any of these assholes. Ask Juan. He didn't want to play. I don't trust Patel and Bongino. Remember those googly-eyed bastards when they turned around and said, Epstein killed himself and there's nothing in the files. And they were like this, right? They were going to say, that's also, I'm saying, they're either the worst actors.
Yeah.
They're acting poorly for a reason. Like, Trump made us do it. That's how they'll take a walk. So don't trust any of them. Trust this. As soon as the other side is mathematically out, it's who you'll see who they are. All this turning means the ball's in motion. Trump's going to have the Epstein files, stigma. You'll never open them all. They'll have the insurrection with Flynn leading the charge. Trump's a bad guy. Epstein. Trump was involved in the insurrection. Flynn's going to go, he made me do it. And then all of a sudden, with a sinking economy, with 38 trillion in debt, you're going to go, he needs to go. See? Nice setup. And by the midterms, if it gets that far, that's why Green's taking a hike too. And other Republicans, you know what the next trend will be? They'll start jumping ship. Because they know already. And they are petrified that the Pandora box opens up and you find out they're all been taking money. Hey, listen, do you remember Marjorie Taylor Greene? 700,000, 25 million, 174,000 a year? I don't take any money from anybody, meaning Israel, which is a good path, right? Well, who the fuck are you taking money from then?
Yeah.
Somebody's getting paid. Hit it. You see?
Podcasters are getting paid.
Oh, not only are they cheating you, selling gold and all protected and selling you all this other bullshit, but they were part of the insurrection, which is why they're all panicking right now. Well, here's one here. X22 report, TikTok, do it Q. Oh, fuck me, Q's back. You notice that? All of a sudden we're talking Q again. Election fraud. Wait a minute. Dominion not only won all their cases from Giuliani and when Powell all took deals. Lindell hasn't even snuck up on winning a case, which is why they're all scared of him. I mean, now we're back. Do it Q. Time to obliterate the deep state. The deep state is all these bastards. This Q is the CIA and Flynn. And the podcasters are the same. Now you've got Trump's posting this shit. You know why? Trump's got to have you believe there was election fraud suddenly because they're tagging him with insurrection. Get it? That's what's going on. And Flynn team wants to bring back the Q bullshit again. That's his army of fucking misfits. That's the decoders with these podcasters.
And Trump's getting so much, lashback that he's got to get his base riled up again with Q. I mean,
he's desperate. They've got to have you believe if they're going to say the insurrection was Trump saying, hey, election fraud. We found out the brokered convention, those confessions was bullshit. Wood's panicking because you're going to find it's bullshit. Tina Peters is going to say it was bullshit. Listen, it doesn't make them not cheating crooks.
Right.
It was a setup of the DOJ that started with the corruption of the election, which went to Lynn Wood's house and then went to December 18th from the Oval Office to me. It was all set up. Now, and they're going to turn around and say it was Trump. Trump's got to embrace it because it's the path. Oh, speaking of the insurrection and Nino, let's see. Just had an update with a phone call at 107. Who's Wayne Willett, who was an insurance investigator. Who made him Jesus? That's the voice of this bullshit. I talked to him on the phone for months. He tried to flip me. He's a fucking moron. And worse than him is Nino. I mean, what was he? A boxer? That
Yeah.
made him qualified to be the voice of the people? I talked to him. I have those text messages. He's a moron. Just had an update call with 07. Can't believe some of the things we've discussed. Oh, I can. Almost eerie, really. When this guy's eerie, the other week he was telling you about an alien invasion. We are definitely in the window, folks, meaning the Iraqis are in trouble. Because if you can turn around and expose this insurrection, they go to prison for insurrection, which is why Flynn goes, who are those fuckheads? When you hear more of one Congress or woman falling ill or suddenly dying, it's go time. All I can say for now. Go time. Right, he's going on before, but now going to war. The only thing, and this is a recent podcast, it's time for the military. And Trump's going, well, you better follow an order. They're saying that's where it's going.
And what's he trying to get at by Congresswoman falling ill, or who's he talking about? Do you know? I don't.
He's just this is what they did with the Black Swan bullshit.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
So if they get anybody like that, right, they're going, see, we told you.
Right.
Remember, they would go through and Jaco would say this with an earthquake. Oh, it was deliberately done.
Yeah.
Now, can they do some shit right? There's 2,000 earthquakes a year.
Or more.
He's the same asshole who said Trump was dead.
Right.
Elvire saying Flynn's dead. They're confusing the shit out of you. And that's the aliens and the reptilians and the shapeshifters. And some of you assholes were buying it. All right, now hit the next one. One of my favorites. Now, in this brokered convention meeting, Shelby Bush turned around and said 98% of these podcasters belong to the CIA. She led with Vandersteel, directly CIA agent. Now, let's see how Vandersteel's turning the ship now. Do you remember with Mary Fanning, who gives out my location and telephone number, whose husband represented the sale of Dominion, blocking that avenue, protecting her ass, scared of Lindell, who's not let go. He's not let go because the DOJ is going to use him, as they are Tina Peters, which they're also, Vandersteel is afraid because she's on the insurrection path. It's over. The whole MAGA psyop is over. Wait a minute. Make America great again with just one big psyop? Tag the Trump. She's tagged the Flynn. She's tagged the Raycliffe. There's the plan, right? It's America only, ride or die. Oh, now it's America only now. Listen, the DOJ with controlling and the CIA with the implementation of an insurrection, which is tagging Trump with. Don't slide in my DMs whining about flipping on Trump. Right. Why would we do that? No, he flipped on us. That's not the turn, folks. That's not the turn to insurrection. If he flipped on you, then she's saying that Trump's guilty of the psyop, which I told you what Flynn's going to say. Trump made me do it. That's the plan, folks. That's why the brokered convention, which Flynn was behind, was flipping on Trump, who is the beneficiary, Sununu and Haley. Watch this video. Tell me you don't agree. And if you come to 5G chess crap, you're going to get blocked. Why is Epstein the dividing line? We're talking parrot head influencers. Really? You see? Okay, Crash. There's the flip. They are the insurrection. Go back to J6. We don't have Alex Jones front and center. We don't have James O'Keefe, Laura Loomer. What did we find out? They were all taking money from Bob Shulman, who there's a big statue in Israel of. It is the Mossad. They bought the influencers, and they bought them cheap. Listen, you know what the truth? The truth doesn't come politically based. I'm telling you, they all sucked. See? It doesn't come with making millions and millions, which they all do. I had hundreds of millions, wealthier than all of them, and famous. Gave it all up. Listen, the truth's in orphans. The truth doesn't have fucking teeth, shitheads. That's what the truth gets you. See? So in other words, that's who they intercepted me with. That's what O'Keefe came to state of corruption. Laura Loomer did. That's why Flynn intercepted me on December 18th. Who knew who I was but the DOJ? You saw me knocking on the FBI doors, calling them out, putting their faces on sign. You saw me go to the DOJ. You saw me put them in check, record the Inspector General of the Treasury, get the letters intercepted by the TITCA, and gave it to U.S. Attorney Lullen of the DOJ, who gives it to the AG. You know why? I had them in check. I had them to cartel. What are they blocking now? Telling you all of a sudden, we're getting all the Sinaloa cartel. We're shutting them down, the Coast Guard, the whole thing. Why are we dying in record numbers still? They're protecting the American cartels. Where were all these billions of drugs coming to? The distribution of the American cartel, which they don't need Mexico anymore. We don't need Colombia. They're manufacturing fentanyl. Where did I tell you it was coming from? Manufacturing plants in this country. Hello? Who was manufacturing it? The Chinese. What did Trump just do? Just allowed 600,000 Chinese to come into the country. When I stopped Penn National moving in for the money laundering of New Hampshire, which had the largest cartel and part of the Pandora's box, they just built the operation in the state next door to Maine. Maine, half of Maine's owned by the fucking Chinese. Who moved in? Penn National. You see, it's by the numbers. I gave you all that all before it happened. I gave you the brokered convention before anybody knew there was a brokered convention. You found out that it is that. The recordings, see the thing with the recordings with everybody, none of them can trust one another because one, they're all guilty and they're corrupt. So what they use is blackmail. What did the DOJ use? Blackmail. What does the Mossad use? Blackmail. CIA, blackmail. You see? I mean, that's how the country's run. And why does blackmail work? Because they're all guilty. That's why they tell you white hats and black hats. That's why they're saying, hey, I'm supporting Flynn, knowing if you get Flynn, you get Trump. Vandersteel by saying, hey, she's telling you Trump's bad. Nino saying, hey, something's going on. We can have the military. There you go. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was she most associated with? Flynn and Raiklan supporting Trump, but who blew Trump up?
Right.
Just as I'm telling you, Flynn would. Marjorie Taylor Greene did it. And yet she said, I'm going to support the women and so forth, which we want to hear. But it's not going to happen. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns. Hey, listen, it's called standing and fighting. And it's turning around and helping these women. You didn't. You took your 25 million and left, partnered with Flynn, knowing the winning team was going to be the Department of Justice. And then you're going to run for president, having the Department of Justice owing you for lighting the fucking fuse. Who, Massey's going to be the VP or Flynn? You see, you were all played. You were all lied to. And then you've got CNN and Fox taking a Republican position. Then you got CNN taking a Democratic position. The truth doesn't come from a political position. You got Tucker saying they're all corrupt, but he won't tell you the DOJ. You got Elon Musk saying, Doge, we'll get Trump in there and we're going to audit them all. Well, that didn't last long, did it? Now we just find out it was all just dismantled. Where all you had to do was audit the Senate and the Congress. Maybe we find out Marjorie Taylor Greene where she got 25 million. Maybe Nancy Pelosi and her 275 million, which is what they let you see they made.
Yeah.
Because they want to live a certain lifestyle. Which is why all of a sudden they wanted to audit the James and Shift.
Yeah.
About what? Principal home, second home, a quarter on the rate, $40. You could have audited them all for lying on the application form about their income. Hey, where'd you get 200 million? Can you explain that to me? Well, we didn't go there. Why don't we go there? But it's the DOJ that's protecting them all. Who else could? Who does the prosecution but them? Their FBI is connected directly to them. The CIA takes orders from them. That's Flynn. That's why it goes back to Department of Justice. And all of a sudden, all these assassinations, and you can't get an answer? Oh, that's right, the DOJ. I'm telling you, this is no guess. Everything I gave you was right on. They can't figure out the broken convention how I figured it out. It's because I've always been ahead of them. You can't go to the state of corruption and see what I've done for all these years. I just posted something that was from what? 2011, I think it was. And I gave you the Department of Justice and the FBI. I told you the media was the CIA in control. I gave you the courts in control. I gave you the layout of all that's happening now, and it's 14 fucking years ago. And I put it all on a blackboard in a building, a $5 million building I own, that now the cartel owns. You see? That's from telling you how it works. You don't think the DOJ knew who I was? I had a green light to get smoked. And I gave you those podcasts. I gave you Married to the Mob. And when I gave you Married to the Mob and Mafia Alive and Well, guess what we find out? The casinos attached to sports betting, that attached to athletes and fixing sporting events. Basketball, baseball. And you know what Trump just posted? It's just the beginning, how deep it is. He was involved in the casino. He was involved in Cantor Gaming and Penn National for race fixing. He knows. He was in the game.
And just to tie it in, Cantor Gaming is Howard Lutnick.
Yes, which they're turning around and asking if we knew who he was.
Yeah, and who a lot of people consider Trump's handler, but I don't, that's just speculation, but he's there.
Trump's handler is whoever has the pictures of him with young women, who have pictures of the money laundering, which is why they were connected to Epstein. Epstein was the key money launderer. Why are we hearing Maxwell and Epstein just being the predators? What brought in these billionaires? You don't think you're seeing Clintons? When have you seen Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton so quiet about dumping on Trump? Oh, that's right. They're tied to Epstein too. Now, is Bill Clinton a predator? Does that surprise your ass? How about the Clinton Foundation? You know what I found? Bill Shaheen was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. Oh, hello. Representative Maxwell, hello again. Where was Clinton sending money to? Haiti, through this Clinton Foundation, and Haiti didn't get shit. What did I find with the Pandora's box? LLCs, trust companies, and these charitable foundations, which is tax-free. It's how they claim their money. All of it's connected. Haiti knew it, and I gave that to you then. That's what I found. And that's why the Mossad paid me a visit. That's why the CIA paid me a visit. It's why the FBI has sat on my children. It's how they stopped my Social Security. That came from the Department of Justice. What did I give you? The money laundering, incriminating, the Treasury Inspector General. Oh, what did the Epstein files give you? Larry Summers. Oh, the Secretary of the Treasury. It goes to the top. All of it. What did I give you? The banking department? Who do you think audits? The Department of Revenue. There's the state auditing network. All that audits is corrupted. We live in a state of corruption. You get it now? That was that poor son of a bitch who did that in 2005. State of corruption. You thought it was the state of New Hampshire. It's a state of fucking mind. It's the state of the country that we're in right now. We could have, with $38 trillion in debt, if we didn't have all this robbing and stealing, you could have health care. You'd have zero inflation. Our standard of living would be 1,000 times higher. You'd be taxed less. All of it. And when you say make America great again, when were we great? We didn't have organized crime. In my lifetime, I've seen racism in the 60s back. We could be great. That's what you bought in. You wanted to be great, not again, maybe for the first time. You do have an opportunity to make this country great. This is the window. The window, that's why Mino uses the window. This is the window for you to see who they all are. You can't see them turning on one another, being this dark. Lynn Wood turning around saying, oh, I don't know if Tina Peters can call herself a Gold Star mother. It was a training accident. How dark is that shit?
Yeah.
I asked you. Which one of you could say that? He could. He did. The opportunity is that you couldn't see them. That's why they had you chasing reptilians. Well, I hope you can now. And if you understand, now listen, very few people are going to see this. You don't think they're sitting on all our stuff? I mean, Crash, her DMs won't work, her email won't work. I mean, I've got to turn around and send her pictures and posting them. I can't use my phone. They get that. So the few people that actually see it, your responsibility to get this out. The few that does. But you know what? I'm documenting this. We're documenting this. And the thing with the DOJ, you notice they can't take the stuff down on all those YouTube, all those state of corruptions are still there. Because I'm the blackmail piece. What if Flynn, all those podcasters, oh, he don't like us. He's calling us fraud, but his evidence is good. Fifth, we could use it blackmail. Remember, Juan had me on the phone with Hunter Biden's baby mama and her lawyer.
Yeah.
And say, hey, do you have the deeds and the LLCs of Hunter Biden? Yes, I do. They settled the next day. You see when Santelli said weaponized in Congress? You bet your ass. Why did Tina Peters reach out to me? Why did Mary Fanning reach out to me? Fanning was covering her ass. She gave me Brummel to leverage Flynn because in case Flynn turned her ass in. She was only tied to, oh, I know, Mike Lindell. Why didn't they give Lindell a deal? Because he's weak and will flip. Why won't they give Tina Peters out? That's the DOJ. They were all freaking out. That's why Fanning was, Vandersteel was going after Fanning in case they get given up. See, no one can trust the DOJ and how they turn. They got to prove insurrection. So somebody's going to jail, which is why Flynn with the podcast is going, who are those bastards?
Right.
Dominion? Yeah. I don't have any evidence on Dominion or election fraud. But Trump does. And now all these Q people are tagging, with Trump stuff going, hey, listen, Q and all this. He's being set up again by connecting to the frauds. And he's not smart enough to see it or too desperate not to see it. But he is in a bad situation. Listen, nobody's innocent. They're all guilty. But it's our moment in time to see who they are. Hey, listen, if it comes politically from CNN, it's bullshit. They're all lying. The most dangerous lie is half the truth. I find myself watching CNN with Epstein. I agree with that. Knowing they've been lying about all the other stuff. And Fox, how do you support not opening the Epstein files? Every bit of it. How do you not mention that the DOJ had it all? So let's not let this moment pass, because this is what I also learned in these 20 years. It's also why you're seeing a lot of this Bitcoin. It has to do with money laundering. They're never going to let happen how I caught them. Now they're moving to another form of money laundering. Just like all of a sudden they started blocking the deeds. They learn from their mistakes.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
They learn from their mistakes and they make a better mousetrap. So if you don't catch them in the interim, in the changeover, you were lost. Because while I made it obvious, you didn't see it. which is why they had you chasing werewolves. Now, when it is obvious, if you don't see it, you're lost forever. And then all of a sudden, with AI, the loss of jobs, tracking you, whether it be the IRS, look what they did with me. That's what they do it with jobs. They do it with currencies. You were controllable. Why all these oligarchs are kissing Trump's ass? The big beautiful bill? Because they turn around that money behind that is also the power behind this. And what are they all turning in? Media and AI. That's Ellison. That's Musk. It's all controllable. Your mind and your money. That's BlackRock. That's housing. We're going into a dark, dark place. You've got to turn around and stop it now. Right now. This is your time. Or it's the last time. Listen, I'm going to be 70 in a month. I'm not going to be affected by this. Your children are, which is why I've done this. All right, Crash.
All right, Mike. Have a good day. And I guess tomorrow, this week's Thanksgiving. So I guess we're going to post this before Thanksgiving, right?
Yes, this will run until maybe next week or next
Yeah.
Friday.
Okay.
I wanted to leave people with this. That's why we did this a little early. I hope you're paying attention to these last podcasts and this series of podcasts. We took you here. We told you what was going to happen. This Thanksgiving, I want you to think of where we are and what's going to happen. When you spend that time with your family, and I don't, Thanksgiving is one of the darkest, if not the darkest day for me. But I want you to understand what's really happening. So this time, watch this and you think about this. When you're sitting with your children in their future, you think about here and now. Not the time for cowards. Okay, Crash.
Okay, Mike. See ya.
Okay.